G'day viewers, well I'm working on my neighbour's car here. It's a 1992 Ford Fairmont Ghia, an EB. I'm having trouble with this rear window. It will open up all the way, but when I go to close it, it will jam up about here. I have to lift the window up by hand to help it. And I put this back together using this switch. It would open, but it would not close. No, there wasn't sending power back to send the motor up. So what I found, taking this out, to take these out, you unclip this, that comes up, and you'll turn that, and you reveal two screws here and here. Turn that to the side, and you'll be able to undo those screws with a screwdriver. Now someone's already been here before me, and they've broken those clips off. But yeah, basically undo those screws, and this will lift up and slide out. Now I've noticed, I did do some checking with these switches all work, that works, but this one only opened the door, only opened the rear window there, but it would not send power back the other way. And I've found, if I'm looking in the right spot that is, this switch here goes that way, so this one. If you look carefully here, we've got some cracked joints, the solder's actually snapped off the board. We've gotten some cold solder joints on that. There's pretty much no electrical connection there. There's another one over there, and that switch there, which is still works, but it would do a good reflow. That's probably one of the leads to the switch that sends power back to the motor to close the window. I did test this with a multimeter. I put the cord on there, and I certainly wasn't getting any voltage at all. So this is probably the problem here. So it's probably a common problem with these Fords. I know the power window problems are Fords are known for that, so I'll get the soldering on and we'll resolder some dry joints and we'll see if it works. Okay viewers, I managed to touch up the bad cracked solder connections. I also touched up some other ones that look very finely, even slightly damaged or repaired. So yeah, this should work now. I've noticed this looks to be a hack. It's not original, because I can see the solder was done by an amateur, and this is just put there as a jumper, so I don't know what they've done there. Whether there's supposed to be a resistor there or something, or don't know. So this thing has been hacked before. But yeah, this switch should be working now, so let's see how she works. We've got some Elna electrolytic capacitors, 10 microfarad, 25 volts, they're all pretty good in there. Nothing else I can see, so let's give it a try and see if it works. Okay viewers, got it all nice and cleaned up, all vacuumed, looks much better than it did before. Now this, I've actually touched up all the dry cracked joints on this. If I hold this little solenoid magnet contactor down, that will lock under a magnetic field, and that holds and the door opens up automatically all the way. When it stops, or gets to the end of its travel, that'll activate and that will stop automatically. So that's how the automatic button works on these. Actually give this a good clean out. I'll contact clean the switches and fill them with silicone spray so they actually feel like new again. That's much better. That's a child lock, that works good. These clips are broken off, I reciprocally them on. Now it's time to install this and we'll see if they all work, because yeah, the power windows in this car was not working. This one here especially, I'll go down to here, but you could not get it back up. So what I've done, now these Fords are known for this, the regulator itself, the power regulator with a motor, it's got like a gear, and it turns that and it runs a little spool with a cable which runs on this track. Pull this end down, which pulls that down. The top end rolls on a pulley, which pulls this down. But there's no pulley down here; it's just plastic. And that goes up, it winds up, and just moves it up and down like so. In this spool, where the motor winds it up, it will tend to jam up and lock up, and the window will get stuck at certain places. So what I've done after searching the forums, I did the electrical side, possible switches. So I checked the switches. this would only open and not close. So after soldering the bad connections in that main panel there at the front, that should have fixed it. So yeah, before what the forum said, 99% of the time, you'll fix it. I yet to test that still. I checked all the other switches, they seem to work. They don't stick or jam or anything, so yeah. Whatever, and see the motor will actually get stuck mechanically. It won't go back up past this point. You can go down and go up. But what you're going to do to make it go back up, you're going to grab the middle of the glass, but don't jolt or jerk it. Lift carefully as you're lifting it up with this. So that will help the travel. Now these do wear out too, so that's the main problem why they jam up all the time. So now, I'm going to reinstall this and we'll give it a test. Now my wheels, to remove this, you lift this up off clips, like that. And there's 2 screws under here, which hold this plastic assembly on. And this will unclip off the front here, where the console is, and that will just lift up like that, like so. That just sits up in there, on the clips. So I'll turn the power on, and we'll see if they work. And the automatic switch works. Beautiful. Just like new. What you do, you spray silicone spray along those glides and that side, and that will help the glass slide easier, which makes it easier on the motor and you get more life out of it. That works good. Bit of clunking, then that's the regulator motor mechanism getting old and worn out. Yeah, that clunking's not a good sound. But this one's a bad one, so if I test this one, which wasn't working before, and it should work both ways. There you go. Now if I go down, and I try and go back up, it jams right there. So I've got to get my hand on that and fix that. Also, this was actually working one way last time when that switch was broken, so now to fix that. Alright, I'll just see if I can do this on camera like this. Should be able to see there. Start from the bottom, then I lift with my hand and hold the switch at the same time. You gotta rub your hand along here when it gets to here, so you don't, it's just a safety reason, so you don't get your fingers caught. That's what you do, because it does jam up here as well on this at this point. It does jam up here, and once you get that feed, it will move up freely all the way, but sometimes it won't do that. You have to help it all the way. And that's because that mechanism in there's in that regulator is worn out. I've actually sprayed all this with silicone spray in that track. That has helped it, but it's just in here, it's just in that regulator is too far gone. Don't know what's involved in replacing it though. You got to undo those, which takes your track off, get those rivets out, and that lifts the regulator assembly out. And I think that all comes out through here, separate to this, so that's a big job, so I just left it. So I'll put this back in. There we go. Okay, it's back on the door, thing like that. So yeah, that's that fixed. Now I'll test this one. This should work now. Good silicone spray fixes this good. Also, that's another problem fix. So also, this doesn't work, and that's because when I think this original owners of this car back in the day must have wrecked the electric mast for this antenna. They've replaced it with this second-hand one from the wreckers. But what they've done, they left the electric antenna wires disconnected, but they did it over here and cut the wires. Didn't disconnect completely from in here and feed the wires back through. They just cut them off, and they also cut the reception or the antenna wire itself that goes from the radio. And they never bothered plugging it back in behind here either. So they just installed this antenna, and the antenna wire itself was cut off about that far where it moulds onto the mast. There's an earth wire that's supposed to go under the guard to help improve reception, but that also was cut. So this was just installed just for display purposes basically, with no electrical connection whatsoever. So I've actually had to resolder the wire in that, and yeah, replace that, and I've plugged that all back in, and the radio works quite well now.
I'll certainly get him tomorrow and I'll claim your call.
Got Ray Hadley playing. Just need to get the original replacement electric antenna mast. So that's fixed, and it needs some other work done to it as well. So for now, thanks for watching.